Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something powerful right now. What if everything you've been through was not meant to break you, but to reveal you? What if every tear you cried, every rejection you faced, every silent battle you fought when nobody was watching, was not punishment, but preparation? Your struggles were never meant to destroy you. They were designed to reveal something powerful that already existed inside you long before hardship ever arrived. Pain is not a sign that you are failing. It is often proof that you are growing. Every challenge you have faced has been quietly shaping you, strengthening parts of you that comfort could never touch. The moments that tested you most were not accidents. They were invitations to discover who you truly are beneath fear, doubt, and limitation. When life feels heavy, it is easy to believe that something is wrong with you. But the truth is, nothing is wrong with you at all. You are being trained by your experiences, even when you do not understand them. Just as muscles grow through resistance, your inner strength is built through pressure. Without struggle, there would be no endurance. Without disappointment, there would be no depth. Without loss, you might never appreciate the immense capacity you have to heal and continue. Some of your greatest lessons arrived wearing the disguise of pain. The heartbreak that nearly crushed you taught you resilience. The failure that embarrassed you taught you humility and self-trust. The waiting, the silence, the uncertainty taught you patience and faith. And each time you believed you would not survive something, you did. That survival was not luck. It was evidence of a power within you that you may have forgotten, but that never left you. Struggle has a way of stripping away everything that is unnecessary until only the truth remains. It removes illusions, weak attachments, and beliefs that no longer serve you. What is left behind is your authentic strength, your clarity, and your courage. Hard seasons do not define you by what they take from you, but by what they awaken inside you. You begin to realize that you are stronger than you thought, wiser than you knew, and braver than you ever imagined. There is a quiet confidence that grows after you have been tested and survived. You stop fearing storms because you discover you were built to withstand them. You stop begging for easy lives and start asking for strong hearts. You begin to trust yourself, not because life is perfect, but because you know you can handle whatever comes. Your struggles were never your enemy. They were your sculptor, carving strength into your soul and purpose into your pain. Every tear you cried watered the seeds of resilience. Every time you stood back up, you proved to yourself that defeat does not define you. You are not the result of what tried to break you, but of what refused to stop you from becoming who you were always meant to be. You are not broken, even when it feels like everything inside you is falling apart. What feels like damage is often transformation in disguise. When life rearranges your world, it may appear as collapse on the surface, but beneath that chaos, something new is being created. Just as a seed must split open before it grows, you too must sometimes come apart before you can rise into a stronger version of yourself. What you call breaking is often the moment when old limitations are being removed and greater strength is being formed. There are times when it seems as though you have lost pieces of yourself along the way, as if pain has stolen parts that you can never get back. But the truth is, nothing essential has been taken from you. What has fallen away was never meant to stay. Illusions fade, false beliefs crumble, and expectations that no longer serve you dissolve. And while that can feel terrifying, it is also freeing. You are being stripped of what no longer fits the person you are becoming. Emotional pain does not mean you are weak. In fact, the deeper the pain, the deeper your capacity to feel, to love, and to grow. You are not fragile because you hurt. You are human. And every time your heart cracks open, it becomes capable of holding more empathy, more understanding, and more wisdom. What once hurt you now shapes you into someone who sees beyond surfaces and understands beyond words. When you feel undone, remember that growth is rarely gentle. Evolution does not whisper, it shakes. Change does not politely ask for permission, it demands attention. The discomfort you feel is not your destruction, but your awakening. You are expanding even when it feels unbearable. You are shedding old layers even when it feels lonely. You are stepping into something unknown even when fear tries to pull you backward. Nothing inside you is wrong for feeling tired, confused, or overwhelmed. These emotions are not signs of failure, but signals of growth in motion. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting a deeper version of who you are. Your spirit is not cracked, it is opening. Your heart is not shattered, it is stretching. Your life is not falling apart, it is falling into alignment. Even when you don't recognize who you used to be, it does not mean you are lost. It means you are evolving, and every evolution feels unfamiliar before it becomes natural. What once defined you no longer does, and that is not loss. That is freedom. You are not broken. You are being reshaped, reformed, and redirected into a life that fits your soul more truthfully than the one you outgrew. It is easy to believe that life is targeting you when plans collapse, relationships change, or dreams take longer than expected. In those moments, it can feel as though the universe is standing in your way, placing obstacles directly in your path. But there is a deeper truth beneath what your eyes see and your emotions feel. Life is not acting against you, it is shaping you. Each delay, each closed door, and each difficult turn carries a purpose that may not be visible in the moment, but becomes clear with time. What seems like opposition is often guidance, quietly redirecting you towards something greater than what you originally imagined. When something does not work out, your mind immediately labels it as failure, but many of the things that did not happen saved you from outcomes that would have broken your heart or limited your future. What looks like a lost opportunity might be protection. What feels like rejection might be redirection. What appears to be the end might actually be the beginning of a better path. Life understands the entire picture while you see only one small piece at a time. Just because something hurts does not mean it is harmful, and just because something is uncomfortable does not mean it is wrong. Growth often requires discomfort. If everything always went according to your expectations, you would never expand beyond them. If every wish immediately came true, you might settle for far less than you deserve. Sometimes life withholds what you ask for because something deeper is needed first. Maybe patience must be developed. Maybe boundaries must be learned. Maybe strength must be built. The waiting is not wasted time, it is preparation time. Every struggle is equipping you with resilience, wisdom, and clarity so that when what you seek finally arrives, you will be ready to hold it. There are lessons that cannot be learned through success alone. Compassion often grows from pain. Wisdom grows from mistakes. Strength grows from challenge. If life only gave you ease, you might never uncover the depth of what you are capable of becoming. Trials uncover layers inside you that comfort never touches, and when you rise after falling, your confidence no longer rests on conditions but on your capacity to survive them. Much later, when you look back on seasons that almost broke you, you will see them differently. You will recognize how they carved endurance into your spirit and truth into your heart. You will realize that every tear had meaning and every setback carried instruction. Life has never been working against you. It has been patiently shaping you in ways that only struggle could accomplish. Every thought you repeat and every word you speak carries power far greater than you may realize. Your mind is not just a place where ideas pass through, it is the birthplace of your reality. What you consistently think about and speak into existence begins to mold the direction of your life. When you constantly tell yourself that you are not enough, that life is unfair, or that you will never succeed, your energy aligns with those words, and slowly your world begins to reflect them back to you. The world responds not only to what you do, but also to what you believe. Your beliefs act like invisible instructions to life. They define what you expect, what you tolerate, and what you reject. If deep down you believe you are unworthy, you will accept less than you deserve. If you believe the world is cruel, you will walk through life guarded and fearful. But when you begin to change what you say within your own mind, everything around you starts to shift. When you speak life into yourself, you awaken confidence. When you claim peace, you invite calm. When you declare growth, you make space for transformation. Words are not just sounds, they are energy. Every sentence you repeat to yourself becomes a command your subconscious listens to without questioning. Your inner dialogue is shaping your identity whether you are aware of it or not. If you speak doubt long enough, it becomes belief. If you speak fear long enough, it becomes reality. But if you speak strength, even when you don't fully feel it, your mind slowly begins to accept it as truth. And once your mind believes something, your actions naturally follow in that direction. Your thoughts are powerful because they influence how you see everything. Two people can experience the same situation and walk away with completely different realities, not because the situation changed, but because their thinking did. One sees disaster, the other sees opportunity. One sees rejection, the other sees redirection. The difference lies in perception, and perception begins in the mind. When you actively choose empowering thoughts, you begin rewriting the script of your life. The life you are living today was first spoken into existence internally, and the life you want tomorrow is waiting for you to speak differently today. Your future is not shaped by luck or chance, but by repeated thought and intentional words. When you change the conversation happening inside you, you change the direction your life moves outside of you. Learn to speak to yourself with faith, not fear, with vision, not limitation, and with love instead of doubt, because your words are building the world you are about to step into. Most people spend their lives chasing things they hope will make them happy, successful, or fulfilled. Yet they often wonder why their desires seem to stay just out of reach. The reason is simple but profound. Life does not respond to what you want on the surface. It responds to what you are at your core. Your inner state acts like a magnet, quietly pulling experiences, people, and opportunities that match the energy you carry inside. You do not get in life what you merely hope for. You receive what you consistently love, believe, and embody. A person who carries confidence will naturally attract situations that allow that confidence to grow. A person who lives with fear will unconsciously draw more circumstances that confirm that fear. Someone who walks in bitterness will encounter conflict wherever they go, while someone who walks in peace seems to find calm even in difficult places. This is not coincidence, it is alignment. Life mirrors you. The world reflects your inner world. What you send out emotionally and mentally returns to you in physical form. This is why wishing without changing who you are rarely works. You can wish for abundance, but if you still think like someone who believes in lack, you will attract more of it. You can desire love, but if you live guarded and mistrusting, you will invite distance instead. You can want success, but if you identify as a failure, you will create obstacles instead of opportunities. The outside can never long remain different from the inside. Your environment is always catching up to your identity. Becoming is more powerful than chasing. When you become disciplined, opportunities begin to appear. When you become grateful, blessings multiply. When you become courageous, doors open that fear once kept closed. Life responds to who you are being, not to what you are begging for. When you evolve internally, the results externally have no choice but to follow. This truth shifts responsibility in the most empowering way. You are no longer waiting for luck, for approval, or for perfect circumstances. You realize that change begins the moment you decide to become a different version of yourself. You stop asking why your life isn't changing and start asking who you need to become for it to change. That is where transformation begins. The greatest work you will ever do is not on the world, but on yourself. When you heal, grow, and elevate your mind and heart, your life rearranges itself around you without force or struggle. When you choose to live as your future self instead of your past version, life meets you at that level. You stop chasing dreams and start living in alignment with them, because the moment you become what you seek begins moving toward you. Most of your stress does not come from what is happening in your life, but from your resistance to what is happening. You struggle not because life is too hard, but because you are holding too tightly to how you think life should be. Your desire to control outcomes, people, and situations creates tension in your spirit and unrest in your mind. You want answers before they arrive. You want certainty where none exists. And in that desperate effort to control the uncontrollable, you lose your peace. True healing begins when you loosen your grip. When you stop trying to force the universe to obey your fears and start trusting that something greater is unfolding beyond your understanding. Control gives the illusion of safety, but it actually suffocates growth. It traps you inside expectations, heartbreak, and constant disappointment. When you insist that life must go exactly your way, every detour feels like failure. But when you release the need to control, every detour becomes direction. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean you stop caring or stop dreaming. It means you stop trying to play the role of the universe. You begin to trust the process instead of demanding results. You move forward with effort but without obsession. You act with purpose but without panic. And suddenly a calm takes the place of chaos inside you. Healing requires surrender, not to defeat, but to acceptance. Acceptance says, this is where I am right now, and that is okay. Acceptance does not deny pain, but it also does not let pain dominate your identity. When you stop fighting where you are, you start creating where you're going. Releasing control opens your heart to peace, because peace cannot survive in a mind that is constantly gripping for certainty. When you trust, something inside you relaxes, you sleep better, you think clearer, you breathe deeper. The weight you have been carrying begins to dissolve. You realize you were never meant to run your life through fear. You were meant to live it through alignment, and alignment only comes when you allow instead of force. Some of your greatest moments will arrive only after you stop chasing them. Some of your deepest healing will happen only after you stop demanding answers. And some of your biggest breakthroughs will unfold when you stop trying to manage every detail and simply allow life to reveal itself step by step. The mind wants to control, the soul wants to flow, the mind fights uncertainty. The soul uses it as a doorway. Healing happens when you stop asking life to make sense and start allowing it to make magic. When you release, something extraordinary replaces what you were gripping. Freedom enters where fear once lived. Trust rises where anxiety ruled, and peace finally speaks when control is silent enough to listen. Many people spend their lives trying to heal others while quietly neglecting themselves. They give advice, offer comfort, and carry emotional weight for everyone around them, yet remain empty inside. There is a hidden belief that peace comes from fixing what is broken outside, from rescuing others, from solving every problem that appears in front of you. But the truth is, no matter how much you do for others, you cannot borrow peace from the world. You must create it within yourself. When your focus is always on changing others, you become exhausted and resentful without knowing why. You begin to feel unappreciated, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. This happens because you are searching for stability in a place where it does not exist. Other people's emotions, behaviors, and choices are beyond your control, yet you continue to attach your happiness to them. That is a heavy burden to carry, and eventually it crushes your spirit. Real peace begins the moment you turn inward instead of outward. It begins when you stop trying to manage everyone else's growth and start honoring your own. You realize that it is not your responsibility to rescue everyone or fix what they refuse to heal in themselves. Peace grows when you accept that others are on their own journeys and you are on yours. When you stop interfering with paths that are not yours to walk, you recover your energy and emotional freedom. Returning to yourself means listening to your own needs instead of ignoring them. It means giving yourself the compassion you have always given to others. It means allowing yourself to rest without guilt and saying no without apology. When you begin to honor your own emotional boundaries, you rebuild trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop needing the world to feel stable for you to feel safe. Peace is not found in controlling outcomes, pleasing everyone, or being endlessly useful. Peace is found in alignment with who you truly are, and alignment only happens when you acknowledge your own feelings instead of burying them beneath responsibility. When you slow down enough to hear your own heart again, you reclaim parts of yourself that were quietly lost in service to everyone else. You do not need permission to take care of yourself. You do not need approval to protect your peace. And you do not need validation to choose yourself. The more you return to your own center, the less power the chaos around you has over you. Your calm stops being fragile and starts becoming steady, not because the world changed, but because you did. Peace is not somewhere outside waiting to be discovered. It is something that emerges when you finally stop abandoning yourself and begin living from the quiet strength that has always been taking care of you from within. Strength is not measured by how many times you avoid falling, but by how many times you rise after you do. The world often praises those who never stumble, but true resilience is revealed in the courage to stand again, over and over, even when the pain is fresh and the world seems unkind. Life does not promise safety, ease, or fairness. Yet those who endure discover that the most valuable power is not in perfection, but in persistence. Falling is inevitable, rising is a choice, and it is in that choice that character is forged. Every time you get back up after a setback, your heart grows stronger and your spirit more unshakable. The moments that make you feel weak or defeated are the exact moments that teach you the depth of your own resilience. Strength is not the absence of difficulty. It is the ability to navigate difficulty without losing yourself. It is the quiet confidence that, no matter what happens, you have within you everything required to continue, to rebuild, and to move forward. Those who fall and never rise may never know how powerful they could have been. But those who rise despite everything reveal the true nature of the human spirit. Rising after a fall requires self-trust. You must believe, even when nothing external confirms it, that you are capable of standing again. Life will test you in ways that feel unbearable, yet each test is a mirror, reflecting not just your limitations, but also your courage. Falling is a teacher that shows you where you need to grow, where patience is required, and where your determination must deepen. Without those moments of failure, the lessons of persistence would never become part of your being. Strength is learned in struggle, not in comfort. There is also a humility in rising that arrogance can never teach. When you rise after defeat, you recognize that life is not entirely within your control, and yet you also see that you are not powerless. You are reminded that strength is not about domination or superiority, but about endurance, self-awareness, and adaptability. Each recovery is a testament to your ability to learn from mistakes, to face fear, and to continue moving forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Strength is quiet, patient, and consistent. It is forged in the repetition of choice after choice to keep going, even when the world seems indifferent. Those who rise repeatedly discover a profound truth. Resilience becomes a habit. Falling loses its terror because you have proven to yourself time and again that defeat does not define you. Your confidence grows not from perfection, but from the repeated act of standing, brushing off the dust, and moving forward with intention. Strength is not the absence of failure. It is the persistence to rise every time life pushes you down. You are not your past, no matter how loudly it tries to define you. The mistakes you made, the heartbreaks you endured, and the moments of regret you carry are not the measure of your worth. Too often, people allow past experiences to become chains, binding them to identities that no longer serve them. They replay old failures, relive old pain, and believe that who they were then determines who they must be now. But your past is not a prison. It is a teacher, a reference, not a ruler. You are not limited by what has already happened. You are empowered by what you choose to do next. Your scars and mistakes are not your identity. They are proof that you survived. They are evidence that you faced challenges and endured them, even if you felt weak at the time. When you carry shame, guilt, or resentment as though it is who you are mistaking experience for essence. The truth is that who you are today, the being capable of reflection, choice, and growth, is far greater than any single moment you wish you could change. You are a living, evolving story, and no chapter, no matter how difficult, can erase the potential written in the chapters still to come. Living as though your past defines you is a subtle form of surrender. You hand power to things that no longer exist and let them shape the present and future. Yet freedom comes when you reclaim that power. You begin to realize that your value, your capability, and your purpose are not tied to events that occurred before you became aware of your strength. Every experience is a lesson, but none of them should dictate your destiny. You have the ability to rewrite the narrative, to see your past not as a limitation, but as a foundation for the person you are becoming. Your identity is rooted in your choices today. Each decision, each act of courage, each moment of self-compassion is proof that you are more than the sum of your mistakes. You are not defined by regret, by missed opportunities, or by moments of weakness. You are defined by the consciousness that continues to rise, the awareness that chooses growth, and the courage that refuses to be silenced by fear. The past may have shaped your awareness, but it does not dictate your trajectory. When you accept that you are not your past, a profound freedom emerges. You no longer carry burdens that are not yours to bear. You stop apologizing for what you have already learned from, and you start living in alignment with the person you are becoming. Your past becomes a reference point, not a ruler. You are not bound by what was. You are empowered by who you are choosing to be in each present moment. The story of your life is not written by others, and it is not fixed by circumstances. Every moment you live, every choice you make, and every thought you cultivate is like holding a pen to the pages of your own story. Too often, people believe that their past failures, societal expectations, or external limitations define the ending of their journey. But the truth is that your story is still unfolding, and you are the author of what comes next. The power to shape your life is not somewhere outside. It is in your hands, and it always has been. Every day presents an opportunity to rewrite chapters that no longer serve you. The narrative you cling to, the one that says you are not capable, not deserving, or not enough, is only a story, and stories can change. You are not obligated to continue a plot that confines you. You have the freedom to shift perspectives, to add new experiences, and to create outcomes that reflect your highest potential. Your past can inform your wisdom, but it does not dictate your future. The ending you imagine can begin to take shape the moment you decide to author it consciously. This requires courage because taking responsibility for your story means accepting that you cannot blame others for your life's direction. It means acknowledging that waiting for circumstances, approval, or luck will never write the ending for you. Instead, the pen is in your hands. Each day you wake and choose thoughts of strength, clarity, and purpose. You are adding sentences that align with the life you truly desire. Every act of self-awareness, every deliberate choice, and every intentional step is a brushstroke on the canvas of your destiny. It also requires awareness that small actions matter. You may believe that rewriting your story demands monumental changes, but the truth is that consistency in small choices shapes your life over time. The words you speak to yourself, the habits you maintain, and the attitudes you embrace are constantly drafting your chapters. If you ignore them, they draft your story for you, often unconsciously. If you embrace them, they become the instruments through which you consciously create a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. The beauty of life is that endings are never final. You may have chapters filled with struggle, sorrow, or mistakes, but none of them have the power to dictate what comes next unless you allow them to. Your story is not static. It is a living, breathing, unfolding creation that you have the privilege of shaping. Every moment is an invitation to turn the page, to write something new, and to honor the life you are capable of creating. You are the author of your life, and the pen has always been in your hand.